Lesson 2.1, CE Principles and Waste Management Strategies. How to understand the importance of including CE practices in waste management strategies. And CE, I understand that it refers to circular economy. Alex, can you help me define it?
Okay, circular economy can be defined like this. CE, circular economy, refers to an economic system aimed at minimizing waste and making the most of resources. This lesson covers key principles of CE and strategies for effective waste management.
Identify and classify waste residual products. Target. Understand what is meant by residual waste after the cultivation of grain, oil crops, and wine grapes. Learn to identify and classify different types of waste residual products. Explore how these can be used sustainably. Special radishes and spinach are harvested in the Norwegian Meyer Agricultural School greenhouse. They are grown using biochar. Alex, you have read a bit more on biochar. What is it?
Biochar is a charcoal-like substance made by burning organic material from agricultural and forestry wastes, also called biomass, in a controlled pyrolysis process.
And now, let's hear what scientist Samuel Wiseman at SINTEF said about this project in 2024.
So we're looking at the use of biochar in agriculture, and the main reasons is because biochar is a concentrated form of carbon that can store carbon in the soil that's been removed from the atmosphere. But for people to put it in the soil, it has to be of benefit for plant health, for plant growth. So that's what we're studying now. We're trying different biochars, different ways of producing the biochars with different properties, looking at how much is optimal for the soil for different plants and how they grow. And we've been looking at different feedstocks. So we've been looking at the traditional stemwood feedstocks for biochar, but we've also been looking at seaweed, and the reason there is because the ocean is very big. There's a potential to produce a lot of biochar from seaweed. But we're also looking at plant residues, waste from farms, what would otherwise sometimes be waste. And in particular in this experiment, we're looking at tomato biochar, tomato plant waste.
Here, we see the researchers in 2024 use the QR code to watch the video on Vimeo. It is now possible to make shoes from organic materials like grapes. Definitions. Waste. Material that no longer has value and must be thrown away or processed. Example, grain that fails to meet the quality standard for use as food or animal feed. Residual products. Materials that remain after the main product has been extracted but still hold value. Example, the straw after grain production. Waste and residual products. Corn, bran, husk, chaff, straw, oilseed. Crop seed cakes, husks, seed residues, plant waste, grapes. Grape stones, grape pulp, grape stems, and vine leaves. Waste and residual products. What affects the quality? Crop type or variety and growing conditions. Different types of grain, grapes, and oil seeds, such as wheat, barley, oats, and olive, have different properties and nutritional content. Cultivation conditions such as soil quality, temperature, and rainfall also play a significant role. Harvesting and storage. The harvesting time and methods used can affect the quality of the residual products. For example, harvesting too early or too late can reduce the nutrient content. Correct storage is also vital to avoid mold and deterioration. Processing methods. How the grain is treated after harvest, including drying, cleaning, and grinding, can affect the quality of the byproducts. For example, heat treatment can increase shelf life but also reduce some nutrients. Climatic conditions. Climate change can affect grain production by changing the length of the growing season and increasing the risk of extreme weather such as drought or floods. This, in turn, can affect the quality of both the grain and the residual products. Agricultural techniques. Using fertilizers, pesticides, and other agronomic practices can also affect the quality of the residual products. For example, overuse of chemicals can lead to residual products with higher levels of unwanted substances. Waste and residual products. What affects the quality? Pests and diseases. Attacks from pests and diseases can reduce both the yield and the quality of the residual products. Regular monitoring and use of pesticides can minimize these problems. Fertilization and nutrient supply. Access to nutrients such as nitrogen and sulfur is vital for plant health and the quality of the residual products. Incorrect fertilization can lead to nutrient deficiencies or surpluses, which can affect quality. Inspection and testing. Visual inspection. Contaminations, weed, field oats, plastic, metal, chemical analysis. Carry out chemical analyses to determine the nutrient content. Treatment and handling. Sorting. Sorting systems and procedures. Pre-treatment, grinding, drying, composting. Storage and transport. Secure storage, prevent pollution and degradation. Efficient transport. Monitoring and documentation. Quality and routines. Awareness raising and training. Employees. On behalf of Ms. Skolseg, Alex, the team, and myself, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye for now. See you later.